Shamrock Products LLC on behalf of residents of Victoria County. This stems from an oil spill that occurred at the Shamrock Products facility on January 3rd. The lawsuit states that Shamrock's negligence played a significant role in the oil spill and accuses the company of failing to contain toxic odorous chemicals, allowing them to enter the atmosphere.
We have clients that have had to move out of their houses because the smell is so bad. Probably going to end up having to have their homes treated.
On January 4th at approximately 5 p.m., an incident at Shamrock Products LLC, a private terminal at the Port of Victoria, resulted in the accidental release of a crude oil and diesel mixture with elevated sulfur content. The Port of Victoria confirmed that around 300 barrels of substance were released, but assured the public it occurred within a designated area. What's even more concerning is that the Victoria Office of Emergency Management says they only received critical information regarding the incident later that evening through an anonymous call. The incident caused a distinct odor, first reported in the southwest region of Victoria County, but the weather patterns that night carried the smell down the Coastal Bend region, reaching as far as Corpus Christi.
All of a sudden there was this horrendous odor, and then after that, shortly after that, like moments after that, my eyes began to burn. I felt sort of nauseated. My head was pounding. To me, it was more like a petroleum smell, a heavy petroleum smell.
Okay. The lawsuit goes on to say that Shamrock Products neglected to maintain equipment designed to contain these chemicals, failed to properly clean up the area, and violated emission standards set by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. 25 News Now has reached out to Shamrock for a statement, and we are currently waiting to hear back. Now, police in Ganado are searching to find the owner of a truck, and they need your help. 25 News Now weekend anchor Adam Seibel joins us now with more.
That's right, Karina. Ganado police say the owner of the truck is involved in multiple burglaries. The photos they released aren't the best, but here's a look at it. It's a Dodge Ram 2500 with a headback rack, a black toolbox, and brush guard with lettering on the driver's side door. Again, police say the owner of this vehicle is a suspect in multiple burglaries. Those crimes all took place over the past few weeks. If you have any information, Ganado police want to hear from you. Call this number on your screen, 361-771-2800. And of course, callers can remain anonymous. Karina, back to you.
Adam, thank you. The fentanyl crisis is sweeping the nation, and North Texas is no exception. Just this month, a fentanyl drug dealer that used Instagram to lure teens had been sentenced in Fort Worth. A Dallas high school hosted an information session regarding this deadly drug last night. Educators and administrators attended the meeting where special agents discussed more about the issue.
Fatalities when it comes to fentanyl are young kids. 12 to 24-year-olds. So from an educator's perspective, they sometimes see changes in behavior in their students, sometimes even before parents might.
In Dallas, 3 people were sentenced to federal prison for their roles in a drug ring that cost 3 teenagers their lives. Back in Victoria, 2 warming centers are open today. Starting at 5 p.m., Our Lady of Sorrows Trinity Hall, located at 204 West River Street, will be open until 8 a.m. Saturday. Everyone is welcome. The Salvation Army of Victoria headquarters, 1302 North Lewis Street, opens as a warming center anytime the temperature drops below 35 degrees or below 30 degrees in wind chill. Adult males are only allowed overnight, but the day center is open to all. And with that, let's take a look at your forecast with meteorologist Scott Pitney.
Yeah, Karina, it's going to be another chilly one tonight in the Crossroads. We have a freeze warning in effect tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and a possible alert day for Monday with the possibility of heavy rain next week. Here's the freeze warning in the blue shaded areas, Victoria County, along these counties southwest of Victoria. But I think most of the Crossroads is going to see freezing temperatures tonight, with the exception of possibly right along the coast just above freezing. We'll have an update on your complete forecast coming up in weather. Karina, back to you.
Scott, thank you. State authorities arrested 10 migrants this morning in the Shelby Park area of Eagle Pass. This area is near the U.S.-Mexico border and had been taken over by the state of Texas last week. Video shows the migrants on top of a cargo container barrier installed on the banks of the Rio Grande. Migrant arrest in that area began on Wednesday. Families and children are being handed over to U.S. Border Patrol agents right now. Single adult migrants are arrested and charged with criminal trespassing before they are handed over to U.S. Border Patrol. Now, migrant apprehensions on the U.S. southern border have increased to around 4,000 a day. This week's numbers mark an increase from earlier this month, where it was around roughly 3,000 apprehensions per day. It's still far less than the 10,000 daily migrant encounters observed last month. However, multiple sources say migration changes could increase at any time. Even though the weather may have passed for now, the dusty, dirty evidence of its previous arrival may still be seen on your vehicle. Auto experts are urging people to get rid of it before it damages your vehicle.
Every time it snows or we get ice, I know that salt gets underneath your car and it's not good for your paint or your undercarriage, so I always come and wash it off and clean it.
Wayne Goodowitz of Dallas needs no warning about the long-term impact of salt left on your vehicle's undercarriage. After all of that brine mixture applied to North Texas highways has to go somewhere. And now experts urge North Texans to get it gone from your vehicles.
You don't see it, but it'll destroy your undercarriage. We have undercarriage. That's our specialty. We don't charge for that. Most people do. We don't. And you got to get that junk off.
Still need convincing?
Rust, first and foremost.
Where are you seeing that rust?
All over the frame of the car, the undercarriage, the suspension, all of that is basically untreated raw metal, and that gets pretty affected with a lot of salt.
Tyler Shady is a service advisor with Christian Brothers Automotive in Dallas. He says he can tell immediately when a vehicle has been driven primarily in colder climates.
A lot of the people from up north, it's just normal for them, but here it's only once or twice a year. So it's definitely something you want to get off of the metal. It's not good for it. Yes, it does eat its way through the metal over time and eventually causes it to just not support the things it needs to.
So go ahead and invest in a thorough wash that includes that undercarriage, just in case you're tempted to wait for the rain.
You just have to see some of the damage that the salt can do sometimes, and that'll change your mind.
In Dallas, Robbie Owens, CBS News, Texas.
In DeWitt County, Judge Daryl Fowler appointed Ryan Villela to serve as County Commissioner in Precinct 1. The term ends at the end of December. Commissioner Curtis Alfbach announced last November he would retire early from the position. 3 candidates are on the March 5th ballot for that seat. If a runoff is necessary, it will take place May 28th. The winner will run in the November election. Our local food bank really needs your help right now. So here is your Veer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, what factors have prevented you from donating blood? Is it lack of awareness, fear or discomfort, time constraints, or health restrictions? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part. And we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Early voting for the City of Victoria mayor runs through January 30th. Early voting is at the Dr. Patty Dotson Public Health Center, 2805 North Navarro, Classroom A. You can vote next Monday through Friday and on Monday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Tuesday, January 29th and 30th, you can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On the ballot is Josephine Solis, Peter Brown, Robert Bob Constantine, Jacob Sauceda, Carissa Winters, and Dwayne Crocker. Join us Saturday, February 3rd for complete coverage of this special mayor election. Now, Keep Victoria Beautiful is hosting their Silver City Neighborhood Cleanup on Saturday, February 24th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Volunteers will work in teams to help residents move large items and tree limbs to curbs so that they can be picked up. Breakfast and coffee will be provided for all those who attend, and hot dogs will be there as well. It starts at Mount Calvary Baptist Church on 3101 Cali Street. Now remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Israeli operations in a refugee camp in the West Bank leave multiple dead. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, the details in that attack as well as disruptions in Israel's war cabinet. Also ahead, a small plane makes an emergency landing in Virginia on an unusual landing.
Here's a look at what you can expect on Community Crossroads this weekend. We hear about the Heart Walk. We also learn about how to deal with arthritis and joint pain, and also how to deal with cold pain, especially for some of our older viewers.
Folks have space heaters in their homes, and that can be really cozy, but also a really huge fire risk.
Palestinian officials say Israeli security forces killed 11 Palestinians during operations in a refugee camp in the West Bank Thursday. Meanwhile, IDF forces have killed at least 8 terrorists during a counter-terrorism operation in that refugee camp. In addition to the casualties, a Palestinian news agency reports that Israeli forces left behind this destruction after it's attacked in the occupied city. Now, disruptions have emerged among top Israeli leaders over their handling of Hamas militants in the war in Gaza. A member of Israel's war cabinet casted doubt in the strategy for releasing hostages. This as the prime minister rejected the U.S. calls to scale back on its offensive. One member of the war cabinet said that only a ceasefire deal can help with the release of the hostages still held by Hamas. He also dismissed claims that hostages could be freed by other means as illusions. Alec Baldwin has been indicted by a grand jury on involuntary manslaughter charge and the 2021 fatal shooting. During a rehearsal on the Rust movie set in New Mexico, Baldwin, the lead actor and co-producer of that film, pointed a gun at cinematographer Helena Hutchins during a dress rehearsal when the gun went off, killing her and wounding the director. Special prosecutors brought the case before a grand jury in Santa Fe this week, months after receiving a new analysis of the gun that was used. For many people, being healthier is at the top of their list for bettering oneself. For some, that may mean losing some weight, but some health experts believe the number on the scale shouldn't be the only factor you should be considering.
In the U.S., it's long been considered a serious health issue. Being overweight or obese can lead to dangerous problems. But when it comes to the number on the scale, one size may not fit all.
Can't just judge the book by its cover and assume that someone that is larger is unhealthy and someone that is lean is healthy, right? That's the assumption that people make. And I call that practicing street corner medicine.
In the Chasing Life podcast, obesity medicine physician scientist Fatima Cody Stanford says weight doesn't necessarily dictate health. She says it's just one factor that plays a role, but by itself, it doesn't give the whole picture because it doesn't show a person's ability to function and perform at that weight.
Someone who's lean may be very unhealthy, and someone who's heavier may be healthier.
While healthy eating and exercise are both important to health, some experts say not everyone will lose weight that way, and the research around obesity is changing.
What we're starting to see is that there are actually different types of overweight and obesity, different classes. You could even call them class A, class B, class C, and they respond to different things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says there are some people who respond better to healthier lifestyle changes while others won't. That's why he says weight loss drugs are gaining popularity because of the number of people they can potentially help.
What the challenge is for a lot of doctors, especially obesity medicine doctors, is trying to figure out which class of people, a class of patient they're actually dealing with.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
A small commuter plane made an emergency landing on a Virginia highway today. The FAA said 7 people were on that plane when it made a hard landing on the highway. FlightAware reported the plane had took off from Dulles International Airport and only climbed about 800 feet for about 2 minutes before landing. Virginia State Police reported no one had been hurt in this landing, and the airport remains open for takeoffs and landings. Now here's one more sign that the bitter cold has caused problems in North Texas. This happened when a water pipe burst in, or rather near Dallas. The fire department arrived moments after to help shut off the water, and the complex parking garage had been damaged, but no word if any homes were affected just yet.
Possible alert day coming up for Monday with the threat of heavy rain. We'll talk about it coming up in your forecast. Stay with us. And welcome back. So we are calling Monday a possible alert day, and here's the reason why. We are expecting heavy rain starting Sunday night into Monday with possible totals in the 2 to 3 inch rain. That's for Monday, but we could get additional rain on top of that Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see that coming up in Futurecast, and of course that is for all the crossroads. Here are those possible rain totals, anywhere from an inch to close to even, you see 5 inches. That is not for those particular areas. This is just a model range showing that those totals are possible. Here's the big picture. We have high pressure with bringing in the north winds, and that's going to move off to our east. You can see those winds shift around to the east and to the southeast, and then the moisture starts to come in. This first rain event is going to be because of a mid-level low moving across the crossroads here. You see the rain moving in from the southwest. This is Monday at 6 p.m. Still a lot of rain, and then we're starting to track this front now coming in For the middle part of the week, here's Tuesday, still plenty of rain across the crossroads in much of Texas. And then as that front gets closer to us, we see that rain sticking around. Then we start to see that rain eventually clear out by Thursday, although we still have rain chances for Thursday and Friday. But with that front pushing through, we expect those rain chances to drop some. So the big rain starting Sunday all the way through Thursday, and keep tuned for more as these models continue to adjust. Here's Future Tracker showing the clouds starting to move in on Saturday. Here's Sunday around noon. We start to see spotty rain showers around the area, but then when we get to 10 o'clock Sunday night, notice most of the crossroads, widespread rain all throughout. Temperatures right now mid-50s. We've got 40s north of 59 and then mid-50s along the coast. For future temperatures, taking a look at that freeze and the timeline on that, this is 5 a.m. Saturday. This is just before sunrise when we get our coolest temperature near or just below freezing right around the 59 corridor, right at or just above freezing along the coast, and then upper 20s as you head north throughout the crossroads. Then toward the afternoon, still cool but not freezing, in the upper 40s by the afternoon. Those clouds will start to move in along with the moisture, so it's going to feel cold. And then 6 a.m. Sunday, no freezing temperatures, and we will be out of the woods in terms of freezing temperatures for quite a while as we see temperatures, even with the rain, get in the upper 60s to near 70. Here's Future Tracker. I want to show this. This is for marine. I know we have the weekend coming, so some of you, if you're brave enough to get out on the water, here's what you're looking at. Strong northeast winds around 20 miles per hour. We currently have gale warnings in effect, so definitely be careful if you're out there. 5 p.m. Saturday, notice those northeast winds still strong. These are all buoy readings. This is model readings too. Then those winds start to shift to the east. 22 miles per hour. They don't let up in terms of speed. Same for the afternoon, or this is Sunday at 5 p.m. Southeast near 25 miles per hour. Closer inland, Port Aransas. Again, we have a gale warning right now. High tide 2:39 p.m. Low tide 4:29. North winds stiff there. It's 25 knots gusting to 35. Those seas rough at 3 to 5 feet. Waking up to 36. Now this is at 9. Remember that a colder temperature near freezing will be around 5 or 6 a.m. Sunny to mostly sunny skies for Port Lavaca. Victoria waking up a little cooler right at freezing at 9 a.m. and then Cuero 32, a little bit colder as you head north. So here's how it's shaping up for the week. Gusty winds, 50% chance that starts late in the afternoon, then 80% chance Monday, possible alert day for Monday. Temperatures very mild around 70. Big chances of rain all the way through the week. Stay tuned. We could have flood advisories come out throughout the week. Of course, you can download the Crossroads app today. Get the latest in news, weather, and sports at your fingertip. Plus, sign up for email alerts, and it is free. Karina, back to you.
Thank you, Scott. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, gas prices continue to remain steady despite current weather patterns and Middle Eastern tensions. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 395 points, the S&P 500 up 59 points, and the Nasdaq up 255 points. Oil down 67 cents, closing at $73.41 a barrel. Despite rising tensions in the Middle East and historic winter weather in the United States, gas prices across the nation have remained steady. As critical shipping lines in the Middle East are under attack by Houthi militants, AAA says gas prices have remained in the $3 range. The reason? Global demand for oil is down and the changes in weather are keeping prices steady. However, the national average will begin its seasonal rise and escalating tensions overseas may finally hit wallets back here at home. Stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast. Plus, one dog in Michigan proves the saying, "A dog is a man's best friend." Plus, here's a look at what's coming up on World News tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up tonight, another passenger plane and emergency landing in the middle of the storm in the east, right on the highway. Also, the Boeing 747, the fire shooting from the engine, pilots declaring a mayday. And just in tonight, actor Alec Baldwin indicted again. We're next.
Victoria ISD Superintendent Quentin Shepard's closing thoughts on the recent boiler malfunction at Vickers Elementary. You can read the article on crossroadstoday.com. Now, a 65-year-old Michigan man is saved today thanks to the help of his best friend, his dog Ruby. On Thursday, Michigan State Police were called to the lake and were directed by bystanders to a man who fell through the ice. Due to the ice conditions, the trooper couldn't walk far, so he enlisted an Allie, the victim's dog. Ruby carried a rope to her owner, and the trooper and a firefighter managed to pull the man out of the ice, and he went to the hospital and was released a short time later. I meant to say ally, not Allie, but do you think your dog would save your life like that?
I think she would if she could, but she's a 60-pound English bulldog with legs about that long, so I don't think she'd have much of a chance.
I don't think my dog would either.
Yeah, she would if she could, I think. But,
well, what about this weather? I know we're out of the cold breeze for now. We have some possible rain.
Well, we've got one more night of freezing temperatures, but it's not going to be anything like it was earlier this week. We're going to get, for most of us, we'll be right around 32. Again, northern part of the crossroads in the upper 20s. But the big event, next big event, will be Sunday night when the rain starts, and possible alert day on Monday as we can see 2 to 3 inches of rain just over the period of Sunday and Monday, and then an additional 1 to 2 inches possible for Tuesday and Wednesday. So grab your umbrellas for next week and don't wash your car.
Don't wash your car. What about that gooey stuff that's left over? You know what I'm talking about? You know how cars are kind of dirty right now because of the
Yeah.
cold?
Well, if it's bothering you, yeah, go ahead. But, just keep in mind it's going to rain Sunday.
Alrighty.
Sunday evening.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.